everybody, welcome back to my movie channel. My name is Tom and thank you very much for joining me for this, my review of the new Jackie Chan, Pierce Brosnan film, The Foreigner. The Foreigner stars Jackie Chan and Pierce Brosnan and is essentially the story of Jackie Chan's character trying to find out who caused the death of his daughter that occurs early on in the film. Now this film to me comes down to expectations. Your enjoyment of this film is going to be dependent on what you go into this movie expecting it to be like. So for someone like me who went in hearing all the comparisons to Taken that people were making for this movie, I went in expecting something else than what I got, and that can have an effect, right? So I went in expecting something closer to Taken, and this film isn't really like Taken that very much at all. It has some thematic similarities, but Taken and The Foreigner are two very, very different movies, very different premises, and I feel like don't go into this movie expecting something like Taken, because you will probably end up being a little bit disappointed when this movie is over. So getting on to the things that I liked about this movie, let's start with those. So Jackie Chan, you know, he's in, what, his 60s and he's still kicking ass. He's still doing his own stunts. I think he did the majority of his own stunts and his own fight work for this movie. And you can tell it really adds to the movie when you can clearly see that that's Jackie Chan doing those scenes. And it just adds to the movie, and it also really gets you more invested in his character. Now let's talk about Pierce Brosnan as the bad guy in this movie. I wouldn't say he's the villain, but he is certainly an antagonist in this movie, and he's not the stereotypical bad guy that, again, I went into expecting in this movie. He's not that at all. He is a very threatening presence, and he does give a very visceral, very intense performance in this movie, and he's also got some humorous moments in this film which I really did enjoy as well. Okay, here's one of my favorite things about this movie. It broke a lot of the action genre cliches. A lot of scenes in this movie I was watching going, okay, I know that this is going to happen here and this person's going to do this, and then it didn't, and it completely surprised me with a lot of the directions that the story went in. Now, speaking of this movie going in surprising directions, the movie actually has a very political undertone to it. And if you're not paying attention, you're gonna lose track quite quickly of, you know, characters' names that are only very briefly mentioned, and then you have to remember, oh, that's who that person was talking about, that's that guy that he was talking about earlier. And so, you know, the movie does get a little bit muddled here and there in its plot, but it's done better than, say, something like Atomic Blonde, where Atomic Blonde got really overcomplicated and really hard to follow. You can still follow The Foreigner pretty well. You just have to be paying attention, but the story does take very interesting directions, as I said before, in very surprising ways that break the action genre cliche. So guys, that is my review of The Foreigner. Thank you very much for watching. Overall, I enjoyed this movie and I would recommend you go and see this film. It's very good, it's very tense, it's action, it's Jackie Chan, it's Pierce Brosnan, it's all of those things. There's not as much action in this movie as something like Taken, but the action that is in it is very well done. It's very intense. Martin Campbell, by the way, directed this movie. He also directed Green Lantern. And so knowing that going in, I was like, okay, what am I getting myself into here? But I actually walked out enjoying this movie, actually. So thank you very much for watching once again. Remember to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. That would be very nice. Stick around for some more content. I am continuing my series of Star Wars reviews leading right up to Star Wars The Last Jedi with my friend Ali. We have Empire Strikes Back coming soon, so stick around for that. Of course, my reviews for Thor Ragnarok are also on their way. Look out for those. Again, thank you very much for watching, and I will talk to you guys next time.